Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, the Beauty Myth. Learn the beauty secrets of the goddess next door in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, the Beauty Myth at online booksellers everywhere today. There have been rumors circulating around the sequel to Black Panther that I find to be quite troubling. Now, these rumors, which aren't really from reputable sources, say that the Black Panther sequel will be going in a woke direction. Now, this direction is quite troubling because the original Black Panther film was the highest grossing movie of 2018, and it grossed $1 billion in practically record time. Moreover, the film has incredible goodwill with black comic book fans, black sci-fi fans, black fantasy fans, and fans all over the world. And it would be kind of silly for Disney to put all of that goodwill at risk in an effort to push their identity politics and their feminist agenda over profits. So I don't know if Disney would be that foolish to try to push a woke agenda in a profitable film franchise, a profitable merchandising franchise, and alienate the large audience of comic fans out there and the large audience of black comic, sci-fi, and fantasy fans they acquired over the last 2 years with the original Black Panther by changing the lead character. I don't know if Disney would be foolish enough to do that, but when I look at your Disney from a critical perspective, they could possibly be that foolish because your Disney with the Star Wars sequels wanted to change the hero from a male character to this Rey character, and that wound up alienating the entire Star Wars fan base and practically destroyed the Star Wars franchise. Moreover, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we have this Captain Marvel character who most comic fans hate getting a sequel. And while that film made $1 billion because it was connected to the MCU, I don't think the sequel will do as well if it comes out because it's not connected to the Thanos saga. And with this Black Panther sequel, if they decide to go in this direction where they have Shuri as the Black Panther and not T'Challa, I don't think that film would do well either because most people wanted to see that sequel featuring T'Challa, the Black Panther, who was featured in all of the Marvel comic books, and they really want to see a Black Panther movie based on the material of your Christopher Priest, and many people, they want to see your Black Panther having an interaction with villains like Doctor Doom and your anti-heroes like Namor the Submariner, and they wanted to see those characters introduced in a Black Panther sequel with T'Challa engaging them. But what it looks like from these rumors is that your Marvel producers like Kevin Feige don't want to give us a Black Panther sequel based on the source material. What they want to do is give us a Black Panther movie that becomes a woke fest, which is about promoting the whole idea of empowered women. Now, this was something that really hampered the original Black Panther that came out in 2018 and prevented that film from actualizing its potential because the film really focused on all of the women in the Wakanda, and Black Panther T'Challa was not allowed to grow or develop fully as a character. Basically, Black Panther was a background character in his own movie, and I found that to be quite frustrating because I came to see a movie about T'Challa, the king of Wakanda, his struggles with running the Wakandan Empire, and I wanted to see Black Panther using his brilliant mind and his ability to navigate through political situations through his brilliant critical thinking skills, like they were presented in the Christopher Priest run of Black Panther. But I never got a chance to see any of that because the film was hampered by its excessive focus on the women of Wakanda, and that's not what people come to a Black Panther movie to see. I mean, and it's really not fair to Black Panther because, again, Tony Stark got to be the lead character in Iron Man. Steve Rogers got to be the lead character in Captain America. Thor got to be the lead character in Thor. And each of those characters were allowed to have their character transformation arcs. They were allowed to have character development. They were allowed to tell their own story. But T'Challa can't get his own story told in his own movies. And I find that to be a bit of an insult because, again, people want to see the T'Challa character get his screen time, and they want to see him get his story told. And I don't think it's fair to have your T'Challa being obscured and then practically being taken out of his own movie when he is the Black Panther. What these Disney execs probably want to do is they want to say that Black Panther is a mantle, and because Black Panther is a mantle that is handed down from generation to generation, what they want to do is take the title of Black Panther and put it on whatever character they want to put it on. And I find that, again, to be an insult to many of us Black comic fans, Black sci-fi fans, Black fantasy fans. We wanted to see T'Challa on screen, and we wanted to see a positive, intelligent depiction of a black man on screen, and we never got the chance to see that, sadly, in 2018's Black Panther because they neutered and emasculated Black Panther, marginalized him in his own film, and did not allow him to be the central focus of his own film, the same way Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor were the central focus of their films. Now, some people will argue, oh, it was supposed to be about Wakanda, but no. Is Thor about Asgard? No. Thor was about Thor, and it was about Thor, the god of thunder. So that argument doesn't wash with me because if Thor could be about Thor, then why can't Black Panther be about Black Panther? And why can't we get a Black Panther film that is about this black man, the King of Wakanda? And I believe the reason why we can't get that film is because many of these people who work at Disney do not really want us to see a strong, positive, masculine black man on screen being in a leadership role and asserting black male authority. Because if we look at what Disney did with Star Wars and Finn, we clearly see that there is an issue with the whole idea of a black man being in a leadership role or in a role as an authority figure. Because what they did with Finn was they found every way to emasculate Finn with this whole thing that in the movie with Rey, where he was basically a butler and basically a slave in some ways because Poe Dameron has to give him his name. He has no identity of his own. He has no direction of his own. And he had absolutely no story. And the Finn character was basically taken, he was just on screen because he had black skin, but he had no content to his character and no substance to his story. And he was an absolute laughingstock in later films, and he was never presented in a way that gave us any sort of character transformation arc or anything that would make us say we relate to this character in any way, shape, or form. And that was one of the things that disgusted me about Finn, was he was just a joke of a character who was just there, again, for diversity points, and it would be the greatest insult of all to make T'Challa, the King of Wakanda, a token diversity character in a movie with his own name on it, and then to strip him of his manhood and strip him of his masculinity by them taking his costume and taking his powers and handing them over to Shuri, and again, making Shuri the main focus, that would be the ultimate image of emasculation for a black character on screen. And that would be just really, if that rumor is true, that would be the worst thing to ever happen to the Black Panther movie. But I see it as something, again, that is par for the course with MCU and Disney, because what they want to do is they don't want people looking up to black images, and they don't want people looking up to black characters, because they make their money by people looking up to white characters, and they only want people looking at black characters as background pieces in white stories. So if they can find a way to marginalize and minimize a black character, they will go out of their way to even sabotage a successful franchise like Black Panther to do so, and they will willfully and intentionally sabotage that franchise if it means getting everybody's eyeballs on white characters. So when I look at this whole rumors about this Black Panther movie sequel, I really see them as maybe possibly being true, because Disney wants to focus on its long dollars, and even though they have made over $700 million on this Black Panther movie in the US and millions more across the globe, they want to continue pushing the narrative of white supremacy and the idea that white people are the ideal heroes, and to have people spending more money on a black character, that is something they don't want pushed as related to their product. So when I look at this whole woke agenda, it's a long-term plan to sabotage the Black Panther franchise, because they just want to keep eyeballs on the white characters, not the black characters, and they want to push white women like Captain Marvel as the ultimate ideal, because she is being considered as the flagship for the MCU, even though Black Panther was making more money than Captain Marvel, which again shows us, again, the racism behind the scenes. Your Captain Marvel cannot even sell action figures or any merchandise or any sort of sell her own movie outside of the US. She is considered a flagship, but Black Panther, who practically made $1 billion faster than any other film, is considered to be somebody that they're trying to change the franchise on to be woke. Again, passively promoting diversity, but aggressively pushing white supremacy behind the background. And again, this is all about pushing that agenda because they want to push their white supremacist narrative. Now, this whole thing, again, is rumored, but if it looks like it fits, again, right in line with what your Disney has done in the past with other films. And again, it just shows another thing that I said about 2-3 years ago about the value of the black dollar to companies like Disney and the MCU. Even though large audiences of black people came to go see this movie, Disney does not value the black dollar, nor does it want the black dollar outside of the numbers it adds to their box office, because if Disney truly valued the black dollar, you know what your Disney would have done? They would have given us a Black Panther sequel with T'Challa in it, and they would not have hesitated to get that sequel out as fast as possible, because with Iron Man 2, once they found out it was popular in 2008, they rushed to get that sequel out. But with Black Panther 2, we get all of these delays, and we get all of this 2 or 3 years delay. And again, no real rush to get us another Black Panther movie, because they clearly do not value the black dollar, and they do not value the black audience, which came out in force to show how much money that they would bring to Disney. Disney doesn't value the black dollar to give us the best quality product. No, they want to give us a woke product featuring gynocentric themes that don't fit the comic, because they don't respect the black dollar, they don't respect the black audience, and they would let a black franchise fall because they don't, again, value black dollars and black comic fans. And again, if they want to get woke, then what black people do need to do is take their black dollars to black creators like myself and support our work and let Disney go broke. Because if they want to go and push their identity politics and their SJW agendas in their movies, then what black people need to do is head over to black creators like myself and support black media like black fantasy and black science fiction created by black creators like myself, and help build those franchises up and help us be able to make product that competes with Disney, because there's no need to keep trying to support woke franchises which push narratives that are detrimental to black people. Because again, if Disney wants to get woke, then black people need to let them go broke on Black Panther 2. If you'd like to try some of my positive black fiction featuring heroines like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, or strong male heroes like John Haynes in the John Haynes series, or books that show you a diverse picture of the black goth subculture like the Spinsterella trilogy, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. There you will find all my paperbacks and ebooks. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.